everybody, how are we all doing this evening for some Boom Talk? We're not going to end the stream abruptly tonight. Yeah, my bad about that. My bad. But anyway, we've got mine, obviously, and we've got Scully as well. What's up, Skull?
What is up, Aaron, Martin, fellas, everybody, fellas, guys, gals. Good to be here, guys. Exciting topic of Boom Talk, and I just want to give a special shout out to Martin for absolutely killing it in the Meerkat stream and the accent. I mean, like, everything was just spot on. And I think you gave a ton of people a good app workout with the amount of laughing that we induced with it. So, and honestly, plus you killed it too, because I don't think anybody's expecting a Meerkat to go on a 19-win streak. So if you guys missed it, go watch Martin's last stream. Not only will you die of laughter, but, the dude literally did a 19-win streak. So anyways, good to be here today. Thank you, Aaron, Martin. Chat, we'll get to you guys shortly. But yeah, happy to be here.
We got Ballistic Bull on as well. What's going on, mine?
Yes, thank you very much. Oh no, sorry, wrong voice, wrong voice.
Wrong stream.
Wrong stream. No, thanks a lot, Scully. It went really well.
Sorry, guys. Yeah, I stopped turning the music down. My bad. My bad.
Done? Yeah, it was really enjoyed that stream. Absolutely loved that stream. Bits, really did. It was brilliant. It's been an absolute banger of a weekend as well. Scully, your 10-hour stream yesterday, you absolutely killed it. So many people had so much fun. It was just like a festival of boom. The only thing that was missing from my only thing that was missing from my point of view was a nice hot sunny day and being able to do that on the beach. But no, it was absolute festival of boom yesterday, and that was absolutely stunning. So no, you killed it, man. So yeah, let's finish it off with a Boom Talk.
Let's do it.
You want to do the roll call?
Yeah. Let's get started here. First off, I see a lot of cool cats from the community already popping in here. Of course, Mr. P7R is number one. Buddy, peace, love, and respect. Welcome. Of course, BBTFRG number 2. Love it, Aaron. Ryan, what's up, buddy? Very good to see you. Welcome to the stream today. We've got Andre44. Good evening to you as well, my friend. Aspie, very good to see you. And of course, Andro, happy birthday. Guys, do not forget to wish Andro a happy birthday. We got In Like Flint, Michigan. Welcome to the live stream today, Michael Wells. Big shout out to you, buddy. JJD23, how are you, man? Welcome. Junie, I see you in there as well. I know you had a great time on the Meerkat stream. I hope you're okay though, because I know the missus was giving you a hard time there. Remember, run, find a safe spot. Kevin Anderson Sr., what's up, buddy? Very good to see you as well. Okay, with JBC, we got James B. Coogan in the chat right there. Ben CR250, Ben, what is up, man? Welcome to Boom Talk today. Fritzely Grenz, I don't know why you just don't come with your Grenz account. You literally confuse everybody. I'm actually over it now, so I know when I see Fritzely, it's Grenz. But Grenz, how are you, buddy, with the Fritzely account in the YouTube chat right there. Captain Blackadder, good evening, my friend. Welcome. We've got Mr. Pwong, of course, very good to see you. Tiago Rookie, my man, welcome. And Derek, Derek Patrick, how are you, my friend? Welcome, good to see you. Roy for the win in the YouTube chat as well. We've got a Tom sighting, big shout out to Tom. G-Burr, no way, buddy. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Sorry, guys, I always got to give G the quadruple bro fist. And, of course, Hank P, what's going on? Howdy, team. John High 6, very good to see you as well. Mr. Rick, we got Sugarship 3.0 in the chat right now. And go. What's up, buddy? Aaron Martin, I believe. Andrew Down. What's up, my man? Welcome. Okay, I think we got everybody.
Cool. Right in chat. So tonight on the stream, we are going to be talking about Warships. Hey, we got Scully coming in with a 199 super chat. Big shout out to you, Scully, setting off all the lights and everything in here today.
That's not me, man. That's Ferns. Ferns donated. He's just saying school is lit, which I'm not lit.
Yeah. Sorry, Ferns. What's going on, Ferns? Big shout out to you, man. Thank you for the little dono. Appreciate it all the same. But yeah,
Ferns,
tonight,
that's awesome, buddy.
Tonight we are talking about Warships and mainly like the server split and the effect that it's had on the season, like this season, with like queue times, matchmaking, all of that jazz. So, yeah, I mean, the thing that sort of pushed it for me was I seen a couple of people saying, I want that. Aaron, I want the same in that cut. What? What was I saying? Yeah,
what cup?
thing with me was I seen a couple of people saying that at the top on the leaderboard, where it's usually pretty bad anyway, but they were waiting like 2 hours and getting like 5 or 6 games out of it. Out of 2 hours of searching for matches, that's what really sort of stuck it for me to say that the season was balked. What do you think?
Now, is the queue actually sitting there rotating and going for an hour? Like, would the game not time out? Like, let's be realistic here. Like, what is the actual longest queue that somebody's actually waited for? Because I know we've been we've been in there forever, like 20 minutes, 30 minutes. Like, to actually sit there and wait for a match for 30 minutes is like, it's absurd. But I mean, like, I'm never that high up to be in a situation where I'm constantly, battling the best in the world and the top of the leaderboard. So, my queues are, quite frequent. They move pretty quick. You guys can see on stream as well. So, I mean, I think the queue was a little bit of a damper, but I mean, like, it wasn't a make or break on the season.
Groove says queue times are the worst at the extremes. Maybe change how many win points are awarded or rework how stars and levels interact to compensate for the reduced player bases.
Does anybody remember what how we used to get stars in Warships? Like, it changed. Like, I don't know exactly what season it changed, but we used to, I think, win 3 or 4 or 5 stars, and when we filled our star bar or our star meter, we got to the next level, and then they changed it to this way. And now, since, ultimately the server split, it's taken away, I don't know personally if the Chinese is half our player base, but it's taken away a big chunk of our player base, which ultimately has resulted in these queues. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, we just played our first season, with the server split, and, yeah, I don't know. Maybe we need to play a few more seasons to kind of get a good feel for it.
John High 6 says 48 minutes, and that's with jumping the queue time.
Okay, that's going in and out. That's different though. I'm talking.
I think people
maybe not really. I'm talking about just sitting in the queue and just waiting for that battle.
Think some people, they've been playing and they're searching for a game, and they get into a game and then they go back to searching again, and it's in a 2-hour period. They managed to get 6 or 7 games out of that 2-hour period, whether they were queue jumping or sitting watching the thing spin. Still, 7 games in 2 hours. That's terrible, right?
Did you see what Luke just said there, though? Hey, guys, I've been in top 100 most of the season, and I didn't really have many issues, personally. So, yeah.
So, yeah, that's what I mean. I think a lot of it is going to depend on what time of day you play as well, right? Obviously, when you're playing, when places like Pakistan, USA, when those guys are awake and online, when that's those countries' busiest periods, there's going to be quite a lot of players in the pool, so matching times aren't going to be as bad, right? But I don't know. I think time of day probably have at least some relevance. What do you reckon, Mine?
I think that location in the world also has a bearing on it. I've spoken to quite a few people over the course of this season, and people in Australia, New Zealand, Philippines, they're experiencing fairly high queue times, as is the west coast of America. And I think this is down to the proximity of those time zones to the China time zone. Certainly in Europe, the waits don't seem to be that bad. Now, I've been top 250 most of the season, and I haven't had to wait too long. There have been times that I've been waiting what feels like an eternity, and I think that that's something else that needs to be taken into consideration, is people's perception of time when they are waiting for something. A watched pot never boils is a phrase
saying you're impatient,
springs to mind.
He's trying to say that you're impatient.
So is Hank P.
Burns coming in with another 199 super
Another
chat.
one.
Big shout out to you, Burnsy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks for that, bro. Appreciate it.
Yeah, so when you're sat there, it could feel like you are waiting, you're waiting 3, 4, 5 minutes, when in reality it will actually be a lot longer. How many of us actually sit there with a stopwatch and time it? So I think the perception that people have of past time is something.
Grooves there saying, I thought it was a great season. It was like there were 2 tech trees at times with the extra mines, which could get frustrating, but overall it was really competitive and fun. So what do you think about the extra, the bugs? The bugs, chat. Obviously, the extra boom mine ones suck if you didn't get it, but was it really that much of an advantage?
I touched on this on
Can somebody get the bot, please?
I got it.
Cheers.
Yeah, I touched on this on Scully's stream last night. That I think when the season started, I'll go into it a little bit more now. When the season started, it was off the back of the update. Now, the season itself was pushed back, wasn't it? It was pushed back by a week, which upset, annoyed, frustrated a percentage of the players. Which understandably so, because a lot of people were just waiting for warships. And for whatever reason, the season got delayed by a week. Then the update came out, and it broke all sorts of things within the game. The leaderboards, it broke the ops. So people who play the game for operations were, drastically hampered by, the change in force point awards. And then people started to notice the leaderboards and what had happened with the leaderboards. Now, obviously, we did a boom talk about that when we kind of found out what had happened. And I think the fact that was radio silence from Supercell about the fact that it had happened, it was happening, it was going to happen, says a huge amount about the reasons for it. And I think we've established that was political, shall we say. Just
one sec. Big shout out to you, Roy. Thank you for the Cashapp there, bro. Thanks for that. Appreciate it.
Yeah, big shout out to Roy. I've lost my thread now. Sorry.
Damn you, Roy.
Roy will do that to us. Jeez.
So that kind of had an effect on people, on what they were feeling, what they were thinking about the whole split. Then eventually Warship season started, and we kind of had the bug node, the mine with the smoke on it. You couldn't see the leaderboards there, and I think all these frustrations kind of built up in people. And the straw that broke the camel's back was when they fixed that bugged multi-choice node. And then ended up giving half the player pool, a proportion of the player pool. I don't think it was as many as half. I think it was probably only about a quarter to maybe a third. So 25 to 30.
It's only going to be
sounds about right.
It's only going to be the players who jump straight to 3 off the rip. People who don't hang around in 2 just go straight to 3. Those are the players who benefit from it because they were able to go through boom mines the earliest.
If they went through boom mines,
let me just interrupt there for a second. Sorry, fellas. Aaron is right because he's right, but I need to point out that there are some players like myself that did do that on the first day, but I was silly and decided to go top path. And I remember I went building health, and then I made my way over to the bombas, and then up to the multi-node, and then the rocket launcher and the mech, where most players did just when they went into 3 ER on the first day, they stayed on that bottom path and picked up the boom mines, without realizing ultimately that was the better choice, because not even 24 hours later, Supercell made that switch, and, players that did unlock those boom mines on the first day did benefit from the extra boom mines. And ultimately, I believe the worst thing, or the worst part about this whole situation, was just the fact that, Supercell didn't properly just come out and acknowledge it and just say hey, yeah, look guys, we're sorry, we screwed up. They didn't even do anything about it, right?
We spent the whole season wondering whether they're going to fix it or not.
That makes it even worse, knowing that a mistake was made. Some players greatly benefited it while others didn't. And again, as a player that had them and didn't have them, I still enjoyed the season. I'm not using that as an excuse as to why the season sucked, but I do believe that Supercell made a crucial mistake in not necessarily switching the nodes. Okay, these things are going to happen. It's just not taking accountability, not acknowledging it, and just not letting the players know that they're aware of it, and that either if they are going to do something or not. Players were just what's going to happen? What's going to happen? Only to nothing.
Poing says, don't care what anyone says. The extra mines had a massive impact on my game. Somebody else as well said, where is it?
Wankers. Boing, that's awesome.
There was another comment I wanted to show. Something about task forces. Who said about task forces being able to play players in the same task force? Who said that?
Martin, when Martin was going on about it, he
Tiago
mentioned the fact that we couldn't see task forces on the first day.
Yeah, no. Tiago says, what do you guys think if Supercell took out the rule that people in the same task force cannot battle in warships? Will that, improve the queue times if people in the same task force? I think the problem that I got with that is people will then be trying to match their task force mates. They can both be online at the same time, and they will intentionally be trying to match each other to sort of give each other a boost, maybe. But yeah, potentially it could help with the queue times, if they did it.
So what about doing away with 50-man task forces?
Doing away with them?
Why?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You'd cause a riot on the look at the 50-man leaderboard.
Cause an absolute riot.
There's players. There's players that absolutely thrive, for competitive ops in the 50-man. I think the highest force points you can get, actually, what is it, like 37 or 38,000?
Yeah.
And I know a lot of players, that's why they play the game, for operations. And you could do that, but honestly, Martin, I think a lot of players would, they would riot.
Yeah, no, I hear what you're
metaphorically speaking.
I hear exactly what you're saying, but the way that I see it is that I think that with the server split, that we're going to see kind of a transition period for Boom now as we adapt to life with the server split. And one thought of mine was maybe do away with the 50 and introduce a 15-man task force, so something that sits in between the 10 and the 25, where the 25 is the top
I see what you're
level
saying.
of task force.
I see what you're saying. It would add more liquidity to the matchmaking pool. There wouldn't be so many people tied up in the same task forces, unable to play each other.
Yep.
It would add more liquidity to the wider matchmaking pool. It's a clever idea, but I think Scotty's right. I think it caused an outrage. Absolute uproar.
It would at the start, but how would you look at the Boom Mine situation? We got a new sighting in the chat.
Hey, we will be bringing back Chinese back to the worldwide service so you guys can get more matches.
Is a moderator on your channel. I believe that is a fake Nunu, because Nunu is a mod on your.
That's
right. You
right.
haven't modded him. He's a mod on my channel.
Yeah, you're right. You are absolutely right.
Be cautious.
That's a fake Nunu.
That's a fake.
I believe that is a fake.
Oh, right, okay. In which case, ignore Nunu. Unless it is Nunu, in which case, sorry, Nunu. If that is you, Nunu,
that's not Nunu.
Message. It's not Nunu. I was going to say message Aaron and let him know. Anyway,
I was going to say, just reach out to him in Slack and be like, hey, did you just pop on our stream? We just want to double check, because I'm pretty sure he is a mod on your channel. Not to go down this rabbit hole here, but the same thing happened on my stream, and Nunu is a mod on my channel, right? So same thing, Nunu Sousa popped up that wasn't modded, and I didn't demod him, so I'm just like, no, it's a fake. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
that's a big Nunu for Moving Glory.
That's That was slightly yes. So what we're saying, reducing the amount of people that you've got in the task force, thus increasing the amount of people that you have the potential to match with.
Just talk about and doing something with it.
Yeah, no worries. But then again, how many players? You've got warship orientated task forces that take warships a lot more seriously, where in those situations you'll have a lot more of those players in that task force, online playing at the same time, where that might benefit it. But there's also a lot of other task forces where, players don't play warships. So I think there's more players in task forces that don't play warships than there are players that do. I mean, I could be wrong. I don't know. So I don't know. It sounds like a solution. Maybe, it might be a small fix. You might notice some of the queues moving a little bit quicker. But ultimately, I don't think that's going to be the fix that we're looking for. Like the fake Nunu said there. Bring our Chinese friends back. Let's get back to our regular server. Obviously, we know that's not going to happen. But I don't know. It's an idea, and of course, we're not going to know unless they try it.
Yeah, I didn't get a word of that. I'm sorry.
You're otherwise engaged.
Yeah.
No, I think that the purpose of tonight is to kind of try and come up with and bounce ideas around. Now, something else that was said to Jess, actually, this was from Jess. We were speaking about this off stream. And what about having a a reward for the amount of battles you play per day. So, for example, if you play 10 battles in a day, you gain a key.
Pete, I love how this flips to who's talking. Yeah, we've upgraded the Boom Talk stream a little bit now. You know, the cameras and that expand to whoever's talking goes to the big screen. We've got the comments and that on screen as well. We can pull all that. Sorry, I just want to flex my new overlays a second, chat. We can pull all the comments up on.
Aaron, your analytics is showing on stream right now.
Oh yeah.
Sorry.
My bad. Yeah, we can show all the different comments and that on screen as well. We can do all of that. We've got the sideways chat at the bottom. You know, we're repping out here, boom talking in style these days, chat. Sorry, go on. What are you saying? I'm done.
So yeah, so like for example, McLovin's just said I'd be quitting on that system, and I did 1,700 battles this season. That wouldn't matter because only one's. That would only you did 1,700 battles and you're still not above me. Wow. Anyway, sorry. Humble
Savage.
Shots fired. Yeah, so you'd only get the opportunity to take one key a day. So you do 10 battles, you'd gain a key. You could set the limit. You could say do 20 battles a day, you get 2 keys. So that there's an extra reward for going into battle or occasions. That was something, like I say, that Jess suggested. You're so funny, you sweaty meerkat. So yeah, like I said, I quite like daily reward. So you know, like some games, you get a daily reward for logging in, don't you? Well, with Warships, you'd get a daily reward for playing an amount of battles. I don't know what the limit would be, or where the where you set the key reward threshold. But you know, how many times have you been one key short of a piece of tech at the end, when you're pushing? Or so those extra keys that you can win by playing 10 battles a day, or so, could potentially come in really handy. That was an idea that Jess threw out, and I think that potentially it could work. There's sort of other ideas I've had about, what if you made Intel readily available, Intel available for everybody. So for just battling, if you battle, you've got a 25%, 50% chance of gaining an Intel from that battle. That might then push players who are operations focused into playing a little bit more ships, because at the moment they've got to do 3 battles at 3 ER. You'd have to do 3 battles, so it's 8 battles to gain your 3 chests, which award you 3 intel.
Well, I mean, this is where things get a little bit interesting, because like most players that take the ops that seriously and that they are pushing it, like, I mean, it's more work for them playing Warships to get the intel instead of having the 10, 15 dumper accounts that they do have just to cycle them into the TF and just dump the intel. Ultimately, yeah, I mean, that would be a way for Warships to offer more intel, so it's incentive to pull more people into play. It would help in that way, for sure. But I do know for a fact, but a lot of the players that I have talked to, that are in operations that don't play Warships, comes down to just the dumper accounts. How many people do you know that have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 accounts, and they just cycle them, and you'd be surprised how much intel they'd be able to get in a day.
Luke says that one.
Just make the starting rank for next season dependent on your highest rank achieved during the season instead of finishing rank.
Luke says that allows for no parking.
Yeah, before that, Luke said just make the starting rank for next season dependent on your highest rank achieved during the season instead of finishing rank.
Could do. But then saying that, if you did that though, that would just, I don't know, I think that'd encourage people to drop loads and loads of rank.
Well, it wouldn't matter, because it would push people to push higher, because people get to 24.5. They say, right, I'm going to stop at 24.5 because that allows me to start at a a certain rank, so they stop playing, which takes them out of the player pool. I think when it gets a little bit too hard.
What about to combat the players parking and removing them from the pool? What about a star degradation time, like you do with task forces, where every 24 hours the points drop a little bit? What about a star a star degradation time that every 24 hours you lose, some percentage of your stars? That then would make you'd have to play to the last day, and you'd have to play.
Now that idea I've heard that idea before, and just like the task force, if the game is, giving you a 5 or 10% reduction in stars every day, which would keep you from going in and playing, I think that would be a good fix. You'd get a lot of players that would try to get as high as possible, as early as possible, so they can just kind of take that reduction. That's if they wanted to go that route. But yeah, I mean, I think that would be a solution. Martin, what do you think?
Yeah, it was something that we kind of bounced around when we first had this idea of a stream, wasn't it, Aaron, as a possible solution. That a star reduction. I mean, at the end of the day, the people that push warships, they play those daily battles. You do those dailies because you make sure you get your chest in. You don't go 4-4. How big a percentage do you take? Is 5% enough? I don't know. Is
5% for task force points, but
with
task force points, you're dealing with much bigger numbers.
Yeah, of course, exactly.
But equally with warships, you need to be deducting enough to make it worth players going back in to do more battles. So, like Jess's idea of awarding 1 key if 5 stars a day bleed would be perfect. But then people are going to make 5s. Surely people are stars just by going in and doing their daily chest.
The one thing for me on this one would be that it would people not push from the early. They'd wait until late season to do their push. Just stay at lower level ranks to just glide through the season, and then on the last day do what you do with Make Out Madness and just go on a mad one on the last day with all the tech.
Yeah, I think you would have some players doing that.
Maybe, but I mean, I could never make legendary Meerkat. You have to get to legendary or to diamond as quickly as possible, and then on to legendary as quickly.
Jess says, why is Jess's thing not coming up in my thing here? That's odd. Building health TD needs to not be in 7 going forward, as well as a 70-yard deck by itself needs to be an advantage by itself, and boosts need to be uneven, like 150 TD to 50 building health, so multiple metas are viable. That's true. Yeah.
That was something that Jess and I spoke about as well at length. The key nodes each season are BH and TD. I mean, there are many key nodes, but the king and queen of those key nodes are the building health and the troop damage. And when you put them, when you put building health in 70, it means, like Jess's situation, where he had the 7 battles in 2.5 hours, because he'd worked hard to get to that position all season. He not cut corners, but he'd saved on tech. He was in a position to get BH early. He got his BH, but because everybody else was hiding to save up for their BH, he couldn't take advantage of the fact that he didn't pick up tech that others did, and therefore wasn't able to make a concerted push because he got to BH earlier. That was sort of one thing. And then the deck layout is a second thing. In that situation, the 6 ER deck layout was much better than the 7 ER deck layout. So if you were pushing at that stage of the season, you actually had a much better chance with a fully maxed 6 ER deck and then jumping directly to BH, rather than like earlier in the season. It is an advantage to jump ER as soon as possible, whereas when you get to the end of the season, it's not so it's not so much of an advantage to jump to 7 The advantage then sort of tends to be to sit. So the deck layouts also have massive to do with it.
Yeah,
Things just need to be thought out a little bit.
Hinker says, easy fix. You get 8 hours after the four chests. You lose 10 stars. You get to 8 hours after the four chests.
What's he talking about here? You get 8 hours after the 4 chests, you lose 10 stars. So after you collect 4 chests, 8 hours after you collect 4 chests, you lose 10 stars.
I think that's what he means. Yeah.
Am I reading this right, or is this going over my head?
Yeah, I think that's what he means. I think that's what he means. But yeah, I think the star. You know, a star degradation timer would be. It would certainly make things different, and it would certainly stop people. You know, the leaders from that parking. At least on, before the last day. You could play the last day and then park on the very last day, but you'd have to play the day before to keep your star, to not lose those stars. Like
Hinker means if you go... So if you allow yourself to go 4-4, then you'd start losing stars.
Oh, I see.
Oh, okay. That did go over my head. I'm sorry, Hinker. Okay, so once your chests are max, okay, yes. So if you're not collecting your chests and the time frame is still going past it,
every 8 hours, that's clever.
That would work. That's
clever.
A really good idea. I kind of feel like an idiot because, he explained it pretty clear there, and it literally went right over my head, and I'm like, no, what is this? That actually seems like a really good system there to not necessarily prevent it, 100%, but, it's definitely incentive to keep players going back in, or else guess what? You're losing your stars.
Jess says, but who goes 4-4? I haven't in 30 seasons. But if you once you parked, you're going 4-4. That's...
No, you don't. You just go in.
Jess, I can name a ton of people in this chat right now that have gone 4-4.
Yeah, I go 4-4 all the time.
Me a lot more than I'm willing to admit, but yeah, no, a lot of players do actually go 4-4, whether you choose to believe it or not.
I think what it is people who, I think the thing with that is that would that not put you into? Well, no, I suppose it would. If you don't play, no, I suppose if you don't play the season and you start the season at 0 stars, you don't go to negative stars. You just sit on 0, wouldn't you? Anyone from Supercell watching? More than likely.
Yeah, probably lurking in the shadows.
Yeah, probably. Hello, Nuno, if you're there, if you're real.
I like the idea of a star degradation. I think that is... I think the trouble is, I agree with Jess, that most people don't go 4-4. Hinker's idea, while solid, did say that 8 hours after you go 4-4. So effectively, when you'd become 5 of... is when you start losing your stars. I don't think that's necessarily... Maybe you lose 1 star every hour after going 4-4. Might be a better way of doing it. Maybe. That could be one path. But for those that don't go 4-4, and I on Bull haven't gone 4-4 this season, and very rarely do. Certainly on my push account. Some of my other ones maybe not so much, but it won't be for very long.
This would be a good way of, combating the people who park early. Like Blackadder says there, what about the players who park on Thursday?
I think isn't that a joke, or is he being serious?
I don't know, but if you are being serious, then these are these players who park early are the ones who would be, subject to the star loss. Like we say, once the chests go 4-4, every time you'd then be eligible to earn another chest, you'd lose X amount of stars or a percentage of your stars. So you wouldn't be able to park, or you'd only be able to park for 7 hours and 59 minutes before you're punished for it.
Yeah.
So I think it's a good way of combating people who are parking early, but it doesn't help. The matchmaking queue times throughout the season. For that, you need more players. That's, the long and short of it is there needs to be more players in the pool, does it not?
Yes, and that is what I think, whichever way you look at it, whichever way, and I know that I've thought about this lots. I'm sure you have, Scully. I know Jess has given some thought to it. There's been a number of players that have given a fair amount of thought to it. I know that when it comes down to it, what we need is more players playing Warships. So really, that should be the question, is how do we get more players, whether that be the existing players that are already involved in Boom in terms of operations or VP pushing, how do we get them over to Warships as well? And how do we bring in more players to Boom?
Yep. And all good questions right there. And the only answer really is advertisement.
Yep, Chris M's even saying it in there, and exactly, Martin, just and Aaron, just as we were talking about this before, the podcast Boom Talk went live here. There is also a lot of responsibility on Supercell's end with regards to marketing and advertising. How many of you guys in the chat right now remember, the 2014-15 ads, with that style of animation? There's huge nostalgia behind it, at least going back and watching that now. Can you imagine getting those same style of, advertisements now, but only with Warships? And then again, Supercell would need to spend the money on marketing to make sure that that advertisement reaches, all corners of the world, or at least the market that they're going for.
For the guys in chat who'd never seen the
they have no idea. They have no idea what they're listening.
One, you don't know what you're missing. Just get through this ad thing.
Are you bringing one up? Yes,
I'll bring one up. Yeah, I'll watch it now.
Like, imagine this, but with a landing craft landing on a ramp, and then you see a heavy chopper and just bombas storming off, and just machine gun fire all around, and then you see Brick out of nowhere going charge, and just come on, they could do this. They could totally do this.
Find one of the ones from Boom Beach so I don't get a copyright strike.
No, I mean this is subjective. We're reacting to it. We're under fair use. I believe we are allowed to do this. We're reacting to it. We're giving our our opinions.
What if I said a friend or?
Let's put it back to the start.
Look at this. And you know what? They had charisma too. Dr. Terror had character. He was a character, but he had charisma. Hammerman had charisma. The wartime, what were they? Epaulets? When he's spinning around and dancing.
What if I said
that stuff's great.
It's the one where he's singing.
I think this is his wartime. Yeah, when Martin was saying wartime epaulets. I'm pretty sure I'm mispronouncing that. See, look at the sad face. We're sad. We want this back.
Wait. I know just what I'll do. I'll open my base builder.
And these also brought in crazy views for Boom Beach.
This was the base builder one. Do you remember when they brought the base builder out? How big that was? That brought loads of players back to the game because people were coming back and they were building bases on base builder.
I have 0 friends, but
it's a shame they
were bringing back players to build bases on base builder, and then those bases were being put into the game. That was huge back then.
This is hilarious. This is something you'd expect to see on a Family Guy. What's it called? Jump cut, not jump cut. When they just switch over to a scene that makes absolutely no sense. Anyways, they need to do more of this.
Okay, so I'm going to play devil's advocate here.
Go on.
That you've just watched, how long did that take to put together?
Well, yeah, this is the question, isn't it?
How much did it take to put together?
Probably a lot of people and a lot of money. Compare this to what they're putting out now with that phony, cartoon style, comic book style animation. Obviously it's a lot cheaper to produce. So I do agree with you. You're not being devil's advocate. You're just pointing out the fact that this kind of advertising, and promotion, does cost a lot more money and does involve a lot more people to make it happen.
That's the thing. Supercell's got to look at it from a business perspective. Is spending, say, 10 grand on an advertising campaign, which would be for making a new advert and then placing that advert on TVs, YouTube videos, whatever it be, if they've got a budget of say 10 grand, is that going to bring back enough players to the game for them to make that 10 grand back in a reasonable period of time? Which for a game as old as Boom Beach, would it? That's the question. Would it? And I've got my doubts. I'll be honest, I've got my doubts. But I think advertising will bringing back any amount of players is a good thing. Considering they've got a Facebook page which is so underutilized, and the Twitter page as well is so underutilized, just those two things on their own could bring in a ton of players if they use them right. You just need somebody to get on there and just bit of magic and put a couple of sponsored posts up on Facebook. The reach on those posts are amazing, and you can target people who specifically play Supercell games. So you can target people who play Clash of Clans, who play Brawl Stars, all that sort of thing. If they follow the Brawl Stars, Clash of Clans, or Supercell pages as well, if they already follow those, then those people would see the ads. It's called targeting advertising. Supercell can do that, and that's cheap as chips, like stupidly cheap as chips. You literally make a Facebook post, you tell Facebook how many people you'd like it to reach, and you pay the few quid or whatever it is for it. It's not even that expensive. So they could be doing it. They could be doing at least that, I think, at least that.
Maybe Boom Beach doesn't have somebody in charge of their social media, because you look at Brawl Stars and Clash of Clans, Clash Royale, the other Supercell games. They have extremely wide reach on social media, at least when it does come to Facebook and Twitter.
Yeah.
You look at the engagement on a Boom Beach tweet versus a Clash Royale tweet, and it's night and day. Boom Beach will be lucky to get 20 likes on it. Clash Royale tweets are pulling in tens of thousands. It's insane. So maybe they don't have just one person specifically working on social media. Maybe they have one person working on Heyday Boom Beach, who knows. But yeah, maybe they just need a social media expert, social media manager, somebody to really drive it. So, and Aaron, Martin, you guys know, you guys do run one of the largest, if not the largest, community Boom Beach page on Facebook with 15,000 members. And
I don't think we're the biggest, but we're definitely the most active.
Oh, absolutely. So, with regards to advertising, what you were just explaining, what you were just explaining, that's pretty much how it works. I've gone through the steps of advertising. I haven't done it yet, on my page, but I've clicked it to see what you have to do, and it's really unless it's another level that
it's
I'm not
literally
thinking
just
of,
so easy. You
it's
can
not that difficult.
Target the people you want it to target at. You drag the little slider up to how many people you'd like it to reach versus how much pounds it is to do it.
Sorry, just jump in and say good night to Junie because he's going to sleep. He's worked.
Catch you later, Junie. Thanks for coming by, bud.
Being there all day, Junie.
Christmas says, I think that the best bet we've got right now is other Supercell games. I think that Happy Birthday from Clash of Clans to Boom Beach is on its 9th birthday. This March will bring new players into the game. I don't know. Is it the 9th birthday? Clash of Clans is older than that, isn't it? Boom Beach is 9 in March. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. That's right.
Yeah, I think what he's saying is if Clash of Clans were to wish Boom Beach happy birthday on its 9th birthday,
yeah, on their socials.
How many people from Clash of Clans might dip back into
try
Boom Beach for the first time?
That's Aaron, a good point.
It might not be a bad idea to make a comment to Nunu about that. Be like, hey, reach out to the Clash of Clans guys for us. Let's give Boom Beach love.
The one thing that Supercell has got that we're all forgetting is they've got other games that have got literally multi-millions of players who they can reach via the inboxing game. Every Supercell game's we call it the boombox. In Clash of Clans, they got the Clash box, which is where they can upload the videos and stuff, and they got their news tabs and their blog posts and all that. They've got millions of people they can reach for free. For free. All they got to do is write a blog post, saying what's new in Boom Beach, and just punch it out to the other games, or for Boom Beach's birthday, happy birthday Boom Beach, this is what's new, and pump that out to the other games. That'll drive players over. Do you know what I mean? That wouldn't cost them a penny, not even a dime.
Does it then beg the question, why is that not happening already?
Wow, yeah.
Why do we not see adverts for Clash of Clans, Brawl Stars,
not anymore,
Boom Beach?
We used to.
No,
actually,
in Boom Beach.
Clash of Clans, I know, is still stupid active with advertisements. I'm pretty sure I got a Clash of Clans advertisement on Boom Talk before it went live.
Yeah, we've got there's a couple of Brawl Stars ones as well on our channel.
Yeah.
No, I mean within the game of Boom Beach.
Yeah.
You don't see it being mentioned. Is there no reason why every now and then, yourself, Aaron, Scully, Chicken, Op, you can all post videos to the boombox?
Yeah.
Why can Supercell or Nunu not post a promotion
Frenzy Mac with another 199 super chat. May I have that clear blush?
I believe they can, because they've done similar things in the past where when you go into the boombox, you know, there's the main community page where, you know, they've had blog posts in there, you know, promoting boom tubers.
They have.
They've had blog posts in there, you know, talking about upcoming mega crabs and stuff. So there's somebody actually in charge of cycling what they put in there.
Yep.
So yeah, Martin, I'm agreeing with you. I don't know why they're not doing it. You know,
but we used to. They used to
be able to.
There used to be advertisements in the boombox for the other games, because we used to get them for the Clash of Clans updates. There always used to be a thing, little blog post thing that used to go into the boombox. And the same as when I was playing Clash of Clans very briefly, there was things in there for like Heyday and, you know, and other stuff that's going on. But this is advertising that they could be doing for free. It would take them, 20 minutes to type up a quick blog post, throw some UI on it, throw some artwork on it, polish it up, check it, post it, done. Talking like an hour's work for free, and it could potentially, breathe new life into the game, like, you know? How easy would it be for the BB content creators? Hang on. How easy would it be for the BB content creators to make content for BB, Twitter, and YouTube? I do it for free, as I'm sure you guys would as well, to promote the game. Yeah, that's what I mean. I'm pretty sure the community managers are also in control of the socials. Maybe not solely, but they definitely have ability to use them. I know that for a fact.
They do. Like, I don't know if Nunu is responsible for posting on, like, let's say the Boom Beach official Twitter. But I know that, you know, he has helped me before in the past, let's say with like uploading a video into the boombox because, you know, I'm having issues or something. So, of course, with being the community manager, you know, he does have access to it, whether he has access to, you know, whether he's responsible for, oh my God, let me rephrase this. Whether he is responsible for putting what goes in there, I'm not sure. Like, I think he can just, you know, access the boombox, you know, with regards to content creator videos. And that's about it. I don't know if he's responsible for the main page. Yeah,
I don't think he's responsible for what like gets written and put up in there, but he has the ability to control what is in there. You can, you know, fix stuff and change stuff and whatnot.
Hinka, can you put Hinka's comment up? Get the Red Bull logo on the heavy choppers and use the money to hire 2 more devs.
We could, but yeah, no, Jess is right. You know, potentially they need somebody in charge of the social media. Because potentially they're missing out on so much, but that's an expense. Like I said, they've got resources at their fingertips that would cost them nothing.
So I'm just trying to understand a little bit more. Jess was just saying, how easy would it be for the Boom Beach content creators to make content for Boom Beach Twitter and YouTube?
That's a tea lady.
But technically, that's what we do, is it not? Like, we make our content and we share it on YouTube, Twitter.
Yeah.
You know,
I don't know whether he's
whatever.
talking about making ads, but the trouble is Scully's reach, Aaron's reach, our reach, everyone's reach, people that play the game already. It's getting the algorithm then to get that video being shown to players who play Clash of Clans, players who don't play Boom Beach. And that really, Aaron, you're better placed to answer that. How do you get the YouTube algorithm?
Well,
okay,
yeah.
Anybody
susses that out, you let me know.
I'm gonna say something to that. And again, a lot of people might not like what I have to say, but I watch a lot of Mr. Beast, and like, this guy is a freaking genius when it comes to the algorithm.
Yep.
Like, he'll pretty much talk about, like, you know, how the algorithm works, and essentially the algorithm works. The algorithm will promote content that people want to watch. Okay, ultimately it comes down to people not wanting to watch Warship content because of course there's not enough people playing it, which means there's not enough people searching Warships, Boom Beach Warships on YouTube. Like, unfortunately, the algorithm will never be in favor for Boom Beach, you know, or Warships, unless you're Cosmic Duo, you know, with 150,000 subscribers.
We're never going to get anything go viral. Globally
there's not
viral.
There's Aaron's right. There's not enough people out there searching Boom Beach Warships on YouTube for the algorithm to push it that hard.
Not to go viral like that, no.
That's just the honest truth. If there were more people searching for Warships, the algorithm would be promoting it more.
That's the long and short of it. You know, there just isn't enough viewers for it. But that said, you know, Supercell could be doing more in the advertising department. We know that. But anyway,
so what you want is some idiot to dress up like a Russian meerkat and hope that people find it comical watch it rather than the actual.
So, obviously, the game needs more players. We've addressed that. But going forward in the meantime, then, if they weren't to, bother with advertising, looking for new players, anything like that, what else could they do to, reduce queue times? Could they not? Would you support them changing the way that matchmaking works, at a base code level, the way it picks people to look for? Like, would you like them to remove rank out of it completely, or bring in tech level, something like that, to make matchmaking a bit easier? Also, take less time. What do you think?
Oh, sorry, I'm responding to Gavin and Shad right now.
Mine?
10 ton. Sorry, yeah. So I haven't found matchmaking to be. I think what's happened this season is more people have seen how matchmaking actually works. So at the top end, you struggle to find a match. You match somebody, and if you win 6 or 7 stars. If you lose, you 13 or 14 stars, 15, 16. I was looking at it the other day. I was losing. I think I was in rank 24, and I lost to a rank 24, and I lost 14 or 15 stars. It's like, how the hell is that possible? We're at the same rank. When you look at it, I was 2491, and he was 24-7 before the battle. So you're a whole rank apart. I think that we have been so used to having so many players crammed together. I quite often describe Warships as almost like a cycle race, like a Tour de France, where you've got out front, you've got a very small group of guys fighting for the lead. Very small group of guys. Then behind them, you've kind of got the first pack of trailing leaders, if you like, who are there to step in if someone up the front makes a mistake. Then behind that, you've got the peloton. You've got the huge, great group of people all jostling and battling for position. When you're in that peloton, you're constantly matching people within a 20-star range of you. When you're matching people within a 20-star range of you, you're only going to win or lose 10 or 11 stars each time. When you're in that next group forward, the people that you're matching are within, say, 50 stars, 60, 70 stars. So when you're matching them, you're now winning or losing 13 stars, 7 stars, respectively. When you're at the top, when you're right at the front, once you've matched those dozen people that are around you, you're then only matching people that are below you. So if you win against them, you pick up a few stars. If you lose, then you lose the lot. So that is the reality of matchmaking. Now, because the peloton, when the Chinese were involved, when we had all of the players on one server, that peloton was huge, was massive, and most of us were in it. It was only now, if you look at the leaderboard now, you've got 60 people in Legend, you've got 50 people in 25. Testament to that is that we think that the top 500 cutoff is going to be 23-3, 23-2, 23-3, maybe 23-3-5, something like that. That's kind of unheard of, is it not? I mean, top 500 cutoff is normally high 24s into the 25s. Yet there we are. The top 500 players are spread across 23, 24, 25, Legend, across 5 different ranks.
That's not too out of the ordinary. I mean, we've had previous seasons in the past as well, even before the Chinese server split, where top 500 was high 23 going into 24. You are right, though, that's when that does happen, it's very few in between. Most players are finishing high 24, 25, if not going into Legendary. And we've even had multiple seasons where top 500 has been nothing but Legendary. So, I think this season, with the global leaderboard being a low low 23. Like I'm pretty sure, Martin, what was the recommended cutoff? Wasn't it like 23:20 or 23:30 with the star gain every hour?
What, for this season?
For this season, yes.
20. Well, last time I looked, it was 23:21. It would be my predicted.
Okay, so even that's not even like that is low. But I think we have had seasons in the past where top 500, like being at the bottom of that, closer to the 500th rank, that was where it was at. So I don't think the server split this season is a cause for that. The leaderboard with the range of ranks being all over the place, just because I have seen this before. But, after a few more seasons, if we notice that this is what the leaderboard's going to look like, then yeah, you may be right. We definitely just need to find that way to bring in more players. And, I know Aaron was mentioning it. Jess, was bringing up a good point in the chat there as well.
Yeah, Jess said the best thing we can do to improve queue times is to teach players how to play the game properly and the right fundamentals of the game to be able to win at high level, which I think is a good point. If you can teach players to play better, they'll enjoy it more. I mean, you enjoy the game more when you're good enough to actually be able to play and win. And when you're good at the game, you win more, don't you? But I think that's a good point.
So the current top 500 is sat at 23:10. In fact, you could call it 23:11 because there's only one person there at 23:10. So the top 500 sits at 23:11. That has gone up 11 stars in the last 10 hours. So we are on track, still on track at one. In fact, it's less than 1 star an hour. Which puts us
it's definitely slowed. If anything, it's slowed down.
Yeah, which puts us at 23.2 for top 500, and I can't remember. I can't remember a season where it's been that low. But like you said, it is a one-off season. So we'll see what happens if it's consistently 23.2 or low 23s or even high 2, then that is going to be testament to where we're at.
Do you think that's just purely where there are so few players now? Because you think the Chinese being removed from the game, that's a lot of players, people, yeah? We're talking millions of players, are we not?
I was going to say, did anybody ever come close to an estimation of how many players that comes down to being removed from the server?
It's got to be millions.
You just said millions. I would assume it would be something like that, like China's population.
Or hundreds of thousands at least.
Well over 1 billion. I'm assuming that there's at least 1 million in there playing Boom Beach. It could be a little bit less, but
we're looking at hundreds of. If you look at it on like the conservative side, you're talking hundreds of thousands of players at least. So, all right. So out of those hundreds of thousands of players, there's going to be like 500 of them, 1,000 of them that are top of the leaderboard, top of the game. People who are going to have some kind of their gameplay, their ranking is going to have an impact on ours from being above us. You're looking a couple of thousand players. So, I mean, I seen somebody said earlier on that one of the good things about them not being on our server anymore is the fact that we all get to play each other a lot more. It's much easier to play somebody quite often.
It's a double-edged sword at times.
Well, yeah, true. True that. But yeah, it's just, does it, other than like obviously like the negatives of queue times, matchmaking, all the rest of it, what are the positives? What are the other positives of it? Let's look things on the brighter side a little bit for a sec. What are the other positives, chat? What else has been better about this season, do you think?
Scotty? That's a good question. And sorry, I just want to touch on Kegmeister's just Kegmeister in chat there. You can't judge a country's population. India has a lot of people, but not a ton play Boom Beach. Sorry, not a ton of Boom Beach players, and you are absolutely correct.
Yeah,
this is just pure speculation on my end, and Aaron's just trying to just gauge a number of how many players were potentially removed. So yeah, no, you are correct. It's impossible to gauge that.
So yeah, what are the other positives, chat? What do you think is better about this season? What do you reckon, Martin?
I think one of the best things that's happened this season the amount of matches that we've had against people that we know.
That's what I said a minute ago.
You know, for me, sorry, I've been doing a little bit of jotting down of numbers and things here as well, so I'm fully listening. But yeah, that for me is, you know, the biggest thing. I think a lot of people have been able to achieve a higher rank than they have achieved before. I think the fact that we've got through the season unscathed, that's a positive. You know, I think we're kind of looking into us just, Chris M, I want to pull that comment up. I want to see if the next season will have critter launchers and laser rangers. That will be something new and interesting.
I wouldn't bank on that, but
that's just,
it'll be good when it happens, but I wouldn't bank on it being next season.
That's some, but you know, I mean, and this is the one thing that keeps us coming back every season, isn't it? That we get to this point in the season, look back with regret and remorse. We can look back with, oh, I wish I'd done this, I wish I'd got that. You know, some people are particularly chuffed with how they've done this season, but there's always next season to look forward to, and that for me is the beauty of Warships. It is, you know, there's always next season.
How many times do we say that too, right? Like there's always next season. I've lost track, dude. So true.
Taz109 says, I get this is probably a stupid option, but why not match people with people who are offline to allow more matches to be made, and you only get stars once that person actually logs in and does the battle on their side. So it won't happen live. You know, potentially you could do a battle with somebody right now and they won't be able to log in and do their battle until tomorrow. But when that one happens, you know, the matchmaking completes, you get your stars or you lose your stars. I think that's a really clever idea. It wouldn't be live PvP though.
Can I just, I mean, it's a good idea, but
you go first.
I'd like to poke a hole in that, and I know Martin's probably going to poke a hole in it as well.
Go on.
You're going to get to points where, you know, like I said, you know, Jess, whether you choose to believe it or not, a lot of players do actually go 4-4, because a lot of players don't play competitively. They play, what's the word I'm looking for?
Casually.
Thank you, casually. You know, they're just for fun. They might collect the chest one day, they might not play for 2 or 3 more days, and then go back in and collect the chest just because they log back in. Which means what happens when you log in and you play this player offline, and then you wait. Now you're just waiting for this player to log back in to do that battle. Well, what happens if they just stop playing? What happens if they don't play Warships anymore?
Oh, you don't lose and you won't gain any stars. But the only thing would be you would lose troops if you do your battle. It wouldn't be fair for people to lose their troops if they're not going to get any, reward.
I mean, I want to give them props here because anybody right now giving ideas is already a step in the right direction.
Yeah, that's a clever idea.
But exactly, I think, and Martin, I don't know if that's what you were going to get at as well. But I just think, there's going to be too many players that just, wouldn't be playing Warships as much, and then you'd just be sitting there waiting for this person to do that battle to find out if you won or lost. So good idea, but I just practically, I don't see it working in the game.
I think potentially it would be open to a little bit of corruption as well, because you could have players that you match that don't, who just don't go back in and battle, who just, so you match them, you play the game, you play out your attack on their base and record the time, and then they just don't log in. They just don't log in all season long. So the stars that you thought you may have won, you never win because they just don't go in all season long.
That for me would be like the one main downside to that is the fact that people who don't have instant training and stuff are going to lose their troops for no rewards.
But what I would say, Taz one, is that's the kind of outside the box thinking that we need to find a solution, because those sorts of comments may then lead to taking your idea and developing it a little bit further and saying, well, what about if we did that but did this? So please don't think we kind of just shoot.
We need more ideas like that for sure.
It's that sort of out of the box thinking that we need. Hinker one, next comment. You need to pull that up on stream. 2 best things about this season, in my opinion, are Scully's 10-hour legendary stream and Martin's Meerkat stream. They were fun. They were fun.
I just want to bring
I just need to point out that I did not hit legendary on the stream. I think Hinka's just referring to the stream itself, being legendary. Thank you, Hinka.
Jess, my biggest negative is
that's the one.
etiquette going downhill with the Chinese leaving. The etiquette has been absolutely horrible this season. Yeah, I've seen a lot of people false retreating, especially when they've got terrible times. You're beating people by 15, 20 seconds. They're false. You complete your battle, you go and watch their replay, and they false retreat at the end of it. And it's almost like it's become a thing.
It's almost being normalized at this point, where it's like, are we just beating a dead horse here and beating around the bush? I agree with you. I've seen it. I remember one stream I did earlier in the season. It might have been my first or second one, but I think I got false retreated on 3 times. And of course, I'm not going to go into how I feel about false retreating. I think most of you, have a pretty good understanding of how I feel about it. Everybody's entitled to their opinions, and just like everybody else, I have my own opinion on it. I'm not going to force it on anybody, but I have noticed that, it has been a lot more frequent this season, to the point where it's almost being normalized. As I'm almost not caring anymore, and I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
Pete's got the correct idea for that, though. That you just make the retreat button a forfeit button.
Yep, I agree with that 100%. If you retreat, that's you surrendering.
How does that work in the queue, though? That's completely different. Is it though? I mean, I'm thinking it's a little bit different.
Once you go into battle
versus being in battle, you can retreat in the queue because you're
canceling the matchmaking in the queue.
Okay, so you're not okay.
Once you've been matched, if you retreat, then that should count as a loss, because you've run away from the fight. You've lost.
Yeah.
That for me is a no-brainer. We've said that since season 1.
That would put an end to false retreating instantly. Well, it wouldn't, because so many people now have got it built into their muscle memory that as soon as those bombers fire that last shot, they hit retreat.
Blackadder's got a point there. He says that when you hit retreat, everything should just end. Barrage should stop mid-throw, etc. If on the main base you do a battle and you throw barrage and then retreat, it does stop mid-battle.
Same thing happens.
Stop. So why doesn't it on warships?
How many times watch an operation? If you got a bomba just free clearing and you're chipping away at that core, and he's got a freaking shell that's mid-air and the clock goes to 0, the shell doesn't hit the core. The attack is over. It'll literally disappear in mid-air.
So is that a bug? On warships? Because
no, maybe it is a bug on warships, because if it's implemented on main island and if it's implemented on operations, why would it not work? Why would it not be implemented on warships? So maybe it is,
as you said, Mega Crab stops exactly at timeout. Exactly the same, right?
Maybe Aaron, maybe you guys are onto something. Maybe it is a warship bug.
Maybe that is a bug. Yeah, of course it's a bug. Says King Miser.
Of course it's a bug.
Boom Beach doesn't have bugs; they're just unintended features.
Sorry, I know this is only because he's not going to stop going on about it if we don't pull it up. Can you just pull McLovin? Can you just pull McLovin's comment up? Just pull it up, and we can just glaze over it, skip past it, and then we can move on.
Glaze over it, skip past it.
Yes, McLovin, you're past us both on the leaderboard. Well done. Moving on.
Yeah, but that would mean they fix something in this game. They aren't going to fix it, guys. Yeah, Roy's got a point.
Which then kind of brings us back to the one immutable truth is what is going on with the game, with no advertising, just so many, the little things like the barbed wire posts on ops, what was it we had yesterday, Scully?
Hero Hut still showing up on Boomtown. It is an unfinished Hero Hut, the same Hero Hut that you would see on your main island before you unlock your first hero, but it's there on Boomtown.
Surely these things are they really that difficult to code out of the game? I mean, I know nothing. Well, I know very, very little about coding.
The thing is it's finding where the code has been overwritten and finding where the bug actually is. It's just a case of deleting it or moving it, copy and pasting, or cut it and paste it, and things like that, really. But it's finding what line of code has the issue that's causing the problem. That's what takes the time usually.
What if after X amount of matches you get into a best out of 3 battle where you battle with the same person until someone gets 2 wins? One matchmaking, but more battles.
All right. Again, I hate being devil's advocate, just like you guys. What do we do when we get to the situation where you're an ER, let's say you're a 4 ER and you've just matched a 5 ER, and now knowing that you're already at a deliberate disadvantage, now you've got to battle this 5 ER a second time.
Third time, yeah.
Again, we're getting ideas, which is good, and like I hate the fact that it's like, well, wait a minute, that's not going to work because of this. Again, Chris and I think it was Tizone or whatever. Like, we're getting some really good ideas here. And it's the fact that you guys are proposing these ideas, which is already again on the right track here. I think it just comes down to the man-woman power and the amount of money on Supercell's end to make it happen. Yeah. But again,
K-Meister just says there's no need to fix the hero hut on Boomtown. It provides entertainment. Just like the tree on Runway. You're right, on the little visual things like that, like the barbed wire posts, things like that, they don't interfere with gameplay, but there are other bugs in the game that really do affect gameplay. People can't even play the game in some situations. It's those sort of bugs that have to be fixed that, Supercell takes their time with, don't they?
Going back a little bit, Mike Wells has said, what about in a fizzle where we both retreat because all troops are dead? When we're talking about switching the retreat button to forfeit. So in that instance, Mike, you wouldn't hit retreat until your troops were dead. Now, again,
usually when all your troops die, the timer stops. The attack should end when.
It
should do. It should do.
Yeah.
Sometimes it does.
And
sometimes
is that
it doesn't.
part of the bug? Is that part of the bug? Is the fact that when your troops die, the timer should end because
that's a client instinct error, is it not? Like the serve, it's still showing the timer moving, but I promise you this, or at least I'm more than positive. Again, if you were to leave and then go back and look at your log, that battle should be over. Now there are situations where it goes back to rank 1 and it just shows you matched up against a rank 1. Yeah. That's just I don't know what that is, but there's been a lot of situations where I've been in a battle, right? I'm watching my opponent, the opponent's dead. I'm getting mad because the clock is still moving, and it's like, what are you doing? Why are you wasting time? Retreat. And then if you actually leave and then go back, the battle's already been over. So it's just, for some reason, it hasn't registered on your end. I think it's along the lines of the client and sync error. So all you have to do is just leave and then go back, and then the battle should be over. Just like force closing, right? Yeah, but if you're the one doing the attack and you lose all of your troops, you usually the attack just ends. If you're on the main base, you do an attack. When your troops all die, your GBE flashes 2 or 3 times if you've got GBE left over, and then the battle just ends. It should do the same for that on Warships, and it does sometimes. I agree. It should. It does sometimes. I've had games where it just ends on its own, and I've had other games where I've got to retreat. If they were to fix that and not have to press the retreat button to end the timer, then that issue of having to retreat to end the game where you fizzled wouldn't automatically be a loss just because you fizzled, because you got to press the retreat button. There is a Warships bug now where the game resets after 10 minutes in the queue. It's why you get random disconnects occasionally, because the queue is broken.
I agree. Sorry, Essex Boy, going back a little bit before that, Essex Boy, I absolutely agree with you now, wholeheartedly. Drop the Admiral's key.
Link it to the main base. More people.
Just drop the Admiral's key. Stop restricting people on how far they can go in warships. You want more people to play. Okay. Stop restricting people on how far they can go in warships. Okay. I know it's going to be a loss of revenue, but
putting the revenue aside, how do you stop the fact that people would just play the main base? Bear in mind, the main base is the main source of revenue for the game. It's the longest, it's the longest aspect of the game that the way they can farm money from the player, because it takes 2-3 years to get from level 1 to max level, right? So
Probably longer now.
It's probably longer than I have, but that is like their main source of revenue, right? So if they go and just remove the HQ caps and just forget about it, what's to stop people just playing to HQ 10 to unlock warships and then just forgetting about the main base because they can go and play warships 3 weeks out of the month with max level troops and max level GBE because they can upgrade it immediately in the tech tree. They haven't got to go through the process of, farming the resources to...
So that's where it comes down to, like, so is Warships essentially, is it a reward for playing the main game, or is it just as much as a part of the main island? And like, I totally get removing the Admiral key, but I also get the fact that, there's a little bit of a reward aspect to it. Like, you play the game for this long, and then this opens up. So yep. I get that. You work for Warships, essentially. Yep. Most of us already were at that HQ level, so when Warships came to the game, it was already there. But for anybody right now just starting, what is it? HQ 6, 7, 8 unlocks Warships?
HQ 10 unlocks Warships.
10? Yeah.
But you can get to HQ 10 in the first week of playing.
Right. So what I want to do at this point is bring up maybe bring up the bigger problem with the game itself. How many of you in chat, Aaron, Scully, how many of you discovered that the most effective way to complete the game, to max your account, was with warriors using an all-offensive attack meta? Or did you have to join a community, be told that by somebody else?
I had to join a community.
I think before I joined Telegram, I think I was mainly using
tanks,
heavy Zuka and tanks, and
I was using warriors,
right.
But I didn't have all offensive.
I mean, I'm trying to think when I started using warriors. Like, now as a max level player, I'm going to preach to anybody map clear with warriors. Of course, shield gens do change that, and I totally get that. But if you are a non-IT player and you play main island and you clear your map on the daily, without a doubt, the best troop that you can use for gold, for reload time, is warriors. And plus, it's fast. You literally fly through your map. That's if you keep your warriors alive. Of course, a lot of them are going to die, but it doesn't take very long to train them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. But as an unexperienced, I don't play main. Okay, and this is kind of what, Jess. So, as a main island player, you come to the game, you download the game, you get going in the game, and you start playing. And like you said, you can get to HQ 10 in a day, certainly within a week, and then you hit that first wall. And maybe that's then because players can't see a way through that wall. They don't know how to get through that wall. They don't know, so they give up. They put the game down, they put it aside, and move on to the next, whatever game that may be. Because not many, maybe not many people go looking on YouTube or looking in the community, looking for answers to their problems. They never get to find out about all offensive accounts. They never get to find out about all warrior attack or all Zuka attacks. So they kind of, you go through the task force now. How many dead accounts are there in task forces where the players at level 47, just go and have a look at, not many of you will do this, but go and have a look. Level 47, go and have a look at their base. They've got tanks and medics loaded, and their VP is around about 300 or 400. Because that's where they've got stuck. And it's those people that we need to help. So
it's like going back to what Jess was saying about teaching the players.
Yeah, not just warships, but teaching them how to play the whole game. We, the community, need to be able to reach more of those players. We need to be able to put more videos in the boombox. We need to be able to be more expressive in the boombox to attract the attention of people that don't know about us, the community leaders, the people that can help guys move on. And then once they found us, we need a whole group of people who are enthusiastic, who offer good, solid advice, that are doing it for the betterment of the game, to encourage more players to be better.
Like the collective,
just
like I get what you're saying. Like the collective do for Warships, you should have it for the main game as well, because then that will translate into Warships at a later date. I get that.
But rather than one man, Jess, doing it for 25 people with the assistance of 4 or 5 admins, it needs to be all of the content creators, not just the official Supercell boom tubers, all of the content creators from those with the biggest followings like Chicken and Cosmic through to those with not as many, all working for the betterment of teaching these guys the better way, whether it be Flint explaining about how PSC statues can lead to a or would lead to a VP push, or whether it be us or Scully explain, like Scully does with Crab, showing people that you can get to stage 60, 70 with warriors on Crab. It can be done if you know how to use the little pink fellas. So teaching people about the game is ultimately gets them playing longer. But let's back to Warships though. With groups with groups like the collective, right? I mean, I know Jess and those guys are there. They're doing what they do is great, but they are very small in terms of impact on the game as a larger thing. Would it not be better if we could somehow encourage, like you say, the lower level players and the noobs, so to speak, if they were to join like the bigger communities like Hopper Network, Ship with a Plan, those sorts of chats, they could just then passively learn these things, as well as having, if they wanted to, join a group like the collective. Just by joining the community on his own is already enough to teach a lot of players a lot of things, right? I'm okay with that little pink fella, thanks, Martin. I would like a way to have people watch your attacks and tell you how to improve. That's exactly what Hopper Network, Ship with a Plan, BBTFRG, all of our platforms, our communities already do that already. If you record an attack and you post it on our Facebook, somebody will, if you ask for some advice, people will give you the advice on your attack, a layout, all the rest of it. Easy peasy. Same as for Scully's chat and, like I said, the collective.
Oh, they're all very active and very encouraging. Like, yeah, if you ask a question, does anybody have a good 5 ER layout? Does anybody know this attack? Somebody will share it for you. So that is the good thing about it. There's a lot of good things about it, but that's definitely one of them. The sense of community and just players wanting to help players. Community wanting to help community.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, ultimately it also comes down to the players taking the initiative to wanting to join. There's a difference from players wanting to join and not knowing how, and just players not wanting to join in general, which I totally get. But yeah, which is why simple things like Jess and BBTFRG and myself, when we make our videos, having our Telegram links in there, something as simple as that, even if you can pull in 1 or 2 or 3 people, that's a start right there. So I think it is important to make sure having those Telegram links in there.
Yep. Adam Brown just said, "What is Hopper Collective?" So Hopper
Network. Look at the message directly above that.
Yeah, keep it run Hopper Network. That was Hopper Network's mission statement when we formed. Yeah, exactly. So Hopper Network is a public community on the Telegram app, and the collective is you see Jess in chat. It's his private little community that people can join and whatnot. But Hopper Network, if you do the Hopper Network command in the chat, it will spit out as a if you go to Telegram, download Telegram and search for @Hopper Network links. That will take you through to their signposting page, and you can just click on the links of the groups that you want to join. They got everything on there, everything from just general chat apps to getting people to come into your task force when you roll an op to help you do op hits, to intel help, to warships, mega crab, and absolutely everything else in between. They've got everything on Hopper Network. If you're a Boom Beach player, you should be part of Hopper Network. Facts. Straight up.
Facts. Yeah, no, well said. Absolutely.
So yeah, that's Hopper Network. And like I said, collective is Jess and that little crew that are trying to teach people warships and stuff. He actually said in chat a minute ago, the hope is like they teach 25 new players every season, and those players then go on and teach 5 players each, and it just keeps on going like that, which is awesome. If that's, that's the sort of initiative that Martin was sort of talking about, how to help players come through and learn the game. They get better at the game, they enjoy it more, they play more. It's basics, of game design, it not.
Well, I know I get a lot of joy out of playing Main Island and Warships, and of course Mega Crab once a month when it comes around, because I am one of those weird players that do still occasionally. I try to clear my map every day, but some days I do get lazy and I don't. But I try to maintain 1100 VP at least on my main account. And there's a couple reasons why I do that. Number one, of course, because I still enjoy playing the game. Number two, because I like keeping up with my intel and sugar ship. And number three, when I do stream and play on Skull Crusher, it still does show my viewers and those watching that I still do play the game because, I've got 1100 VP. So, and plus, the 4 intel a day, keeping up with it and showing viewers and people that I still play, with this being a 10-year-old mobile game, I think is really important. I don't think there's anything wrong with having, 2, 3, 400 VP, and, because that's a perfect example of just players, wanting to do warships over Main Island. And again, I'm not judging players for why they play this game. The fact that they're playing this game is all I could ask for. So yeah, whether you play Main Island or not, I don't care. I do. Whether you play warships or not, I don't care. I do. And whether you play Mega Crab or not, I really don't care, but I do. So everybody ultimately plays the game for one of 3 things. So yeah, Jess, the fact that you don't play Main Island, but you are like an aficionado at Warships, and you just want to help people, that says wonders about you as a person. So just keep doing your thing, man. You don't have to play Main Island. Like that's another thing I'm trying to stress here is like you play Boom Beach for why you want to play it. You want to play it for Warships, play it for Warships. So yeah, my little rant.
Yep. 100%.
Adam Brown asking Jess about, Adam, do you have Telegram? Do you know what Telegram is? Aware of Telegram? That probably needs to be where we start, because if you're not, then we need to address that first of all.
Yeah, Telegram is just a messaging app you get from the App Store called Telegram. It's literally just it's an app like Discord or any sort of chat app, WhatsApp
Messenger.
WhatsApp Messenger. It's just another one of those type apps that you can join public chat rooms and pages and stuff.
I'd like to just answer, sorry, Martin, Aaron, Hope and Glory here for a second, because he asked, how much time does that take from you free time playing 6 accounts, Scully? Well, I must stress, out of the 6 accounts, I only play 2 of them actively. Skull Crusher and Borealis. I will log into my other accounts just to collect my chests and destroy NPCs, but if I was to actually, sit down and map clear all 6 accounts, hit all operations, play warships on all 6 accounts, getting the chests, rebuilding the bases, moving things along, I kid you not, that would literally be about 4, 5, 6 hours of my day right there. So, and I don't have that much time literally just to invest just playing Boom Beach. So yeah, even though I do have the 6 accounts, I play 2 of them actively. 4 of, the other 2, pretty much every other day. And, the last 2, I'll pretty much log into them when I'm doing it all hits live and I need the task force.
I used to play 7 accounts full time, and I used to have, 5 or 6 others that I sort of, I had but didn't really play or didn't do anything with. But back in the day, I used to be much more of a player than a creator. YouTube, we weren't doing YouTube. So you're really doing Facebooks just sort of for something to do. So my time was all about being a player. So I used to play loads of different accounts. Do you remember the day back in the day, Mine? We used to have 2 in Scopers. I used to have 1 of my own task force and a couple in here and there and everywhere. Like
AZ All Stars.
That's right, AZ All Stars. Now back in the day, way back in the day. So yeah, people do play multiple accounts, but when they say they play multiple accounts, they might not, like Scully says, play all of them like properly. They don't play every day. Don't clear all the maps, all that sort of thing. The thing with having multiple accounts, it can make you quite a lazy player, because who wants to clear 6 maps?
People need to hear this if they're thinking about starting another account and playing it.
Can make you really lazy.
It does make you lazy at times.
Andrew, well, that's a throwback. Low AZ All Stars, yeah, man, that was ages ago. So go ahead and chat. I want to hear from you guys now. What is the best part? All right, forget that. What this season, season 40, has it been better than previous seasons? Not forget about like tech tree and base layouts, like generally just the feeling of playing this season. Has it been
your
better?
experience?
Yeah, your as a player experience. Have you enjoyed this season more with, you know, the split happening and not having so many Chinese players in the game? Do you prefer it that way, or would you rather them bring back the Chinese players ready for next season? What do you guys think in the chat? Scotty, what do you reckon?
You know what? As much as I would love to see our Chinese friends come back, I mean, I know it's not in our hands and it's not in Supercell's hands. So I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna count on that. It would be nice, but I'm not gonna count on it. I don't think it's gonna happen. I liked it. I liked it. The boom mine, the bugs aside, okay, I did thoroughly enjoy it. I wish I played it a little bit more actively because, for some reason, getting into the last week of Warships, things for me just, tend to start falling apart. And here's another perfect example. Like, I'm still going to be pushing like a madman today. But overall, queue times, I think were okay. Some days they were worse than others. Other days, it's like they weren't even affected. So, overall, if I was going to rate this season out of 10, with the server splits, the bugs, the queue, I would probably give it a 7 out of 10. I mean, I don't know. Martin, what do you think?
I'd agree with that, 7 out of 10. That'd be about right for me.
I've actually loved this season. I probably because I've done really quite well. I managed to get ahead, stay ahead. So yeah, I've really enjoyed this season, bugs and all.
Bugs and all.
In the chat, then Hinker says, was it Hinker? No, Kegmeister says one of the worst seasons.
Yeah, I think
the worst seasons ever. I asked him why. Hang on, sorry. He asked him why. He said low player bases, boom mines, didn't bother pushing for a high rank. So the bugs have put you off, basically.
The bugs, yeah.
That's fair enough.
To me,
bugs and queue.
Yeah.
To me, it seemed like that there is a distinctive split this season. There is a group of people that have really enjoyed it, and those people don't seem to have been overly affected by the boom mine fiasco and the queue times. And I'm one of those people. Whilst I didn't get them, whilst I didn't get the extra boom mines, I certainly avoid players up and week with the extra boom mines, and I haven't found the queue the queue times to be too dramatic. The most annoying thing for me hasn't been so much the queue times, but the matchmaking, the fact that you are consistently matching people who are significantly higher or significantly lower than you, and that's meant losing stars, drastically, winning stars in a drastic fashion. But as I've been reliably informed by a lot of people who are consistently in the top 100, that is just top 100 life. So for me, that was a new experience.
That's what you get for being a top 500. Or sorry, that's what you get for being a top 100 player.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But like I said, for me, this experience. So yeah, Jess, like Jess said, +2, +8, +2, +4, -28, -14, yeah. So that for me has been like the only real downside. I think that there have been other players though who, I made Diamond on the first Saturday and therefore was lucky enough to be able to stay in that, not in the first that lead pack, but in that group behind the lead pack. I think if you were in that peloton, then from what I've understood, what I understand, that has been frustrating for a lot of people. That being in that peloton has meant long queue times. It's meant the boom, the boom mine.
Blackadder is saying, I've enjoyed it, but it's probably due to hitting diamond early and pushing high and getting one of my minis its first top 500. I think that for me was, from what I've seen from in the communities, people were able to get to diamond, get to gold, get to diamond much earlier than they usually can, because there weren't as many players fighting over those spots on the, in terms of rank. So they've done better early on in the season, so that's made it more enjoyable for them. I've seen quite a few people say similar sort of things.
Do you remember we were talking, you and I, Aaron, about the difference in your season, my season? Because Aaron and I tracked much perfectly together till that first Saturday. Now, we all know what happened on that first Saturday. Aaron hit diamond in the morning. I did that hit diamond in the evening. And I said to Aaron, that was where his season went wrong. Because he stayed on and was a part of that stream with me Saturday night, he should have been pushing into diamond. I went back after stream and pushed into diamond only by 35 stars. When we came back to collect the other day, I was able to collect in diamond, which meant I could open the tech that took me through 21 to 22. Aaron, because he was only, I think, 5 stars, lost those fights, fell out of diamond. He had to collect in gold, and he couldn't quite get the same tech as I got, and that held him back. That meant the following day he was a little bit further behind, and then could only collect in gold. Because he spent the following week collecting in gold, I spent the following week collected in diamond. We worked it out to be, I think, like 105 keys ahead by the time Aaron made diamond. Was collecting in diamond. I was like 105 keys ahead.
Yeah, was a big difference.
You're talking 5 keys a chest, right? So I mean, like every chest you collect in diamond versus Aaron collecting in gold.
Yeah, it's 15.
I mean, one chest
keys
is 5,
a day.
2 chests is 10. You get to 4 chests, you're up 20 keys. You get to 8 chests, you're up 40 keys. You get to 12 chests, you're up freaking 60 keys.
Well, effectively, it's 15 keys a day.
Yes, and it adds up. It adds up, which is why a lot of players stress that. Get the diamond as soon as possible. The reason why, because you get more keys, which essentially allows you to open more tech and just keep moving along. Because that's where I think a lot of players fall behind when they just, like me, for example, I'll hit diamond, right? And like the euphoria will set in. It's like,
yeah,
you don't stop there. You keep pushing though. And like,
I stopped pushing.
Me too. I normally stop when I do that.
Yeah, but to be fair, that Saturday night was exceptional.
Yeah. It was an exception. That day was an exception to the rule. That was the day that I won the money off BSV, and then you got the $2,000 challenge, won it on stream and whatnot.
Boys, that was a glorious day that will go down in like the freaking.
I think that for me, season 40 will be one of my favorite seasons, just for the hijinks and the shenanigans we've got up to this season with the challenges to hit a diamond and the meerkat suit. And all the rest of it. This season's been a banger for us at BBTFRG. Is it not mine?
Next
season's going to be even better. Next season's going to be brilliant. You don't want to miss it.
All things aside, the couple of streams that Saturday night back, and a huge shout out to BSV still, because it was that donation that led to the meerkat suit and what we've got planned for next month.
Yep.
It's that facilitated that the meerkat stream tonight. It's just been, like you say, for us streaming, it's been an absolute blast this season.
Yeah, it really has.
I
haven't streamed every day. I've had guys that know I've had family issues and whatnot, so I haven't streamed every day. But we'll be back to dailies on next season. Don't you worry.
Yeah, there's been a couple of times this season where life has way. My legendary push part 2 was didn't really happen. But that's as we all say, real life comes first, doesn't it? But
absolutely. Then chat, I put a poll up in the chat. You guys have been voting over the last few minutes. Was Warships better before or after the server split? 52 to 48 in favor of before. That's interesting.
Ooh, okay. Now, Aaron and Martin, did you guys vote?
No.
Oh,
I did.
I did too. Martin, can I ask you what did you vote for?
I voted for before.
I also voted for before.
Okay. Interesting.
And my reason why I chose before was just because we had more players. More players actually made the queue move a little bit faster, and it just made a better overall player experience.
But see, I've enjoyed playing people I know more. Rather than just indiscriminate accounts from anywhere. It's been people that I've actually. It's the first time I played Warships where I've been able to battle, multiple people that I know. I mean, Poing was saying in chat a minute ago about how he matched me and beat me on stream. I've played loads of people. I've literally played me and you, Scully. I stream sniped you. You know, it was.
Yeah. Oh, buddy, that was twice on the same stream, and like you kicked my butt the first time, and then the second time I beat you by a second and got those stars back.
Yeah, exactly. You know, that's for me. It's moments like that for me make it far more enjoyable than having a faster queue time. I'm happy to take the longer queue time if we get to have those moments on stream. You know, as creators to battle each other and you know give props and GGs to people in the chat. I think it's better. I do. I think it's better since the split. I'll be honest. But
that's
yeah, it's interesting though. 55 to 45 at the end there. So
I you know what? I think if you were to put that poll up on your community tab and like give it a couple days, I mean,
I might do that. I might.
You might get a little bit of a different opinion. I mean, I think it was Blackadder that said that the poll is too early to call, in my opinion. I agree with you, right? Aaron had it up for like
of course. It's
just
a conversation starter, that's all.
Yeah, a conversation starter, absolutely.
Yeah.
So
I'll put it up on our community tab, and you guys.
It's still pretty cool to see out of 33 people. You got 54% that are like, I did before a little bit better.
Yeah, that's fair enough. But I think otherwise, I think we've pretty much covered it. We've had some good ideas that I've made some notes. I know the guys that the team at Superstar are looking for ideas to, with the queue times and all that sort of thing. So made a few notes. I will pass on some of the better ideas and stuff that we've seen in chat and whatnot. But I think that pretty much covers it, doesn't it, gents?
Roy, for me, beating 0 AM as many times as I did was the highlight of my season.
And that, you know what? He's always kicking my butt too. He's a good player, okay? He's a good player.
To be fair, I've had several battles like that. Mr. Boom jumped on stream the other day and sort of made the comment that I, whipped him a few times this season. Abdul Naheem's beaten me a fair few times himself this season. So you kind of, that has been good. That's, I think, like we've all said, that's been the biggest positive.
Yeah. So chat, I think that's pretty much it for tonight. Thank you guys for coming and hanging out with us and talking it through and all the good stuff. We're looking forward to season 41 and whatever that entails. Hopefully there'll be no bugs. Hopefully, they've made some improvements. Fingers crossed they can iron out all the issues and stuff. But yeah, hopefully we'll be able to see some laser ranges and critter launchers. I think they'd be good for warships, but I wouldn't hold my breath. I'm not expecting them next season. I think it'd be season 42, maybe.
We'll see.
But we'll see. We'll see what happens. But yeah, thank you for tuning in. Thanks for the likes, the subscribes, and the donos. It means the world to us, guys. Thank you for spending your time with us. Thank you, Scully, as always, for coming on and, chatting with us.
Thank you, fellas, for having me. And, chat, it was a pleasure hanging out with you guys as well. And Hope and Glory, from my understanding, I believe Pete is doing a stream tonight. So I believe he might be going next. So, yeah, everybody in the chat, thank you guys so much, for joining today. And, hope you guys enjoyed season 40. And, again, Martin, what's that saying? There's always next season.
There's always next season.
So, yeah, chat, that's going to be it for tonight. We will see you, I don't know, on the next one, whatever it is. We'll probably get a fun up or something going in the dead week between seasons. And then we've got Crab and that, haven't we, as well. So, we'll see you all for that.
Isn't Crab delayed, though, a week?
Crab's going to be a week later than what it usually is.
Be next weekend.
Yeah, okay. Cool.
So, yeah, We'll see you then, chat. Thanks, everybody. Peace.